Beyond the speaker system, where you might have noticed the TCL wins hands down because it has a small subwoofer and is generally more powerful, in the area of dark scenes, the LG, in this case with a VA panel, doesn't do a bad job. Obviously, the TCL's black levels are better because it has local dimming with its full-array mini LED technology, while the LG's backlighting technology is conventional direct LED without local dimming. Both have VA panels, and in the case of the LG, as I mentioned, the performance in this area is quite good, with a very decent balance, but as I said, the TCL will be better. However, it's worth noting that some sizes of the LG will likely have ADS or IPS panels with terrible performance in dark scenes. Speaking of brightness and colors, the results, as you can see, will vary greatly depending on each picture mode and the parameters you choose to adjust. Here, for example, I'm going with dynamic tone mapping. Both TVs have this option, and as I mentioned, it has various parameters you can adjust to suit your preferences. Generally, the results are very good, but there will be a difference in contrast favoring the TCL as well as in color volume. However, I think the LG does a decent job despite not having as much brightness or quantum dot color technology. The TCL is supposed to have that color technology. In this respect, the LG would be fine for someone who loves the brand and who will use it, for example, in a room that isn't very bright. While the performance isn't bad in a room with those conditions, the TCL would obviously perform better. Keep in mind that I know this is not a completely fair comparison, but on my channel, I'm not known for making fair comparisons. I just compare whatever is possible. The price difference is noticeable in favor of the LG, but technology will always be the deciding factor. In this case, the TCL has the advantage of greater brightness and better performance in dark scenes thanks to its superior backlighting technology, as previously mentioned, full array, mini LED with local dimming. In terms of image upscaling, the results, from my perspective, are practically identical. Just remember not to be impressed or misled by promises that any 4K TV will display a 4K result when the content resolution is low. That will never happen. Gray uniformity is relatively good in both models. Even the lower-end LG performs well, with minimal dirty screen effect. Motion handling is good in both models, though slightly better in the TCL. Both allow you to adjust various parameters. In the TCL's case, this includes motion settings, while the LG offers true motion. However, the TCL has the added benefit of reducing blur. Generally, setting this parameter high on the TCL and sometimes enabling dynamic acceleration will produce the best results. While true motion set to smooth on the LG would show you the best results, artifacts on both models are very minimal, being less noticeable on the TCL. Of course, viewing angles won't be great on either of these TVs. They're slightly better on the TCL because the brand claims the panel is HVA, although the pixel configuration is still VA. The results are a little better, but nothing surprising. On the LG, they're a little worse, which is normal because it has a VA panel. Keep in mind that they aren't the best for watching movies or sports with family or friends who have to sit very close together or at very wide angles, considering the center of the screens. For gaming, both have their respective game bars with different functions, including picture modes. Here, the LG wins with more picture modes, while the TCL only has 3, perhaps enough for many users. The main difference in this area of gaming is that the TCL supports not only 60 Hz in 4K, but also 120 Hz and 144 Hz in 4K with variable refresh rate technologies on 2 of its HDMI 2.1 ports. The LG, on the other hand, only supports 60 Hz in 4K, and let's be honest, when playing at 60 Hz in 4K, the results on both models seemed practically the same to me. It's very good. The difference obviously would be playing at 120 Hz in 4K on the TCL and then sticking with 60 Hz in 4K on the LG. That's where you'll notice a difference. And for PC gaming, you know the TCL would be a better option because you could choose 144 Hz in 4K. I personally didn't perceive any ghosting on the TCL, while on the LG, although I did notice it, I must say it's very slight. By the way, the screen heat after a little over 3 hours of continuous use, including gaming, is noticeably higher on the TCL because it has a higher amount of brightness, so it's normal but nothing excessive. The LG shows less heat because it has a lower amount of brightness, which is great because it generates less heat, but the TCL's heat, as I said, is fine, it's normal. In terms of inputs, the TCL also has advantages because it has a USB 3.0 port, in addition to a USB 2.0 port, and everything you see here, including 4 HDMI ports, 2 of them with support for 144 Hz in 4K. The LG, on the other hand, has different port placement and configurations. It lacks a USB 3.0 port and HDMI ports that support either 120Hz or 144Hz in 4K, and only has 3 HDMI ports, although these may be sufficient for many users. As for the smart features, those are their remote controls. The LG's is a bit smaller, which I find more ergonomic and comfortable to hold, and it has on-screen cursor and scrolling functions. The TCL's is not bad. They've improved it considerably. It's a bit larger, but I don't find it as cumbersome, and both have a microphone button for voice commands. However, the TCL also supports hands-free mic function, while the LG does not. And for many, the TCL's operating system is better because it's based on Android and allows you to install APK files. While LG's WebOS isn't based on Android, its App Store is relatively extensive, but TCL's Google Play Store is obviously better. Both have their respective shortcut menus. In both, you can modify the location of these icons if needed, and you can also add or remove shortcuts. But from my point of view, TCL has more options. LG's isn't bad, but I feel they need to add more shortcut options. Additionally, TCL has another menu with options for other shortcuts, such as for inputs or applications. You can also modify these icons, and from here, you can access the multi-screen feature. LG doesn't support this feature. It only allows you to share a single screen, for example, from your smartphone. TCL, as you know, has this feature, which many find useful. So in conclusion, the LG would be a good option for an LG fan on a relatively tight budget who wants a TV with a VA panel, keeping in mind that some sizes might have ADS or IPS panels with nicer colors and better viewing angles, but terrible performance in dark scenes. On the other hand, while the TCL is obviously more expensive, much more expensive in fact, it's for someone who wants to spend their money wisely, who wants a TV with better LED backlighting technology, more brightness, better performance in dark scenes, a much better and more powerful speaker system, an operating system that's more open to apps because you can install APK files externally, and who also wants a TV with better performance in video games. Anyway, please let me know in the comments which model you would buy and why. That's all for now. I'd like to remind you that you can support my channel by purchasing a membership through my Patreon page. You can also make purchases through the referral links I've included in the description and pinned comment. This helps me a lot to continue creating content. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.